Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. And I don't put Stephen A. in the same category as Jason Whitlock.
Right.
I don't.
Same.
But I know. But you might, and that's,
Right.
you know, I could see how that could happen. I absolutely could see how it could happen, and he can't be mad about that. 866-801, as I've said, you know, you put yourself in these situations. Nobody knows that you're playing a game. Only you know you're playing a game.
Everyone has a right. I think if you can take one lesson from Stephen A. Smith is that everyone has a right to have their opinion, because that's how he's made his living, having an opinion on other people and what they be doing. So he doesn't get to be exempt from that. He does a lot of very public moves that he knows are going to be inflammatory, that sometimes the clip going to be a little misleading. Sometimes it's going to be on point. It doesn't matter. He's always there where the needle's moving, right at the forefront. And so, yes, people gonna dislike you. Some people gonna love you. You can't get all love, and you can't be immune from the criticism. And not everybody knows your heart. So, like, everybody ain't worked with you. Everybody ain't been in your circle. So people can't just look at you and be like, I'm sure he means well. A lot of people are like, I don't know you and I don't think you mean well. So he just got to take it.
I'm from the camp that you know a tree by the fruit that it bears. Whether you think you're intending good or not, your fruit that is being born is not nourishing. So take that. Yeah. 866-801-8255. Speaking of which, Justin, I was saving this for you. Jason Whitlock.
Okay. Oh,
saving
man.
it. Okay.
My man.
Yeah. I said this is way too foolish for me to deal with Monday through Thursday, right? First of all, Nick Fuentes is a whole ass incel whose own family has turned on him from time to time, who lives in his mama's basement, who has made his living saying outrageous things. Again, somebody with no discernible talent or skill in the particular arena that they're discussing gets to be famous and rich off of saying outrageous, ridiculous things. So this is Nick Fuentes, right? Mm-hmm. There's a butcher for every cow. So apparently Jason Whitlock said some things that made Nick Fuentes say some things. Now, Nick Fuentes is, to me, a publicly raging racist and misogynist. You know, he's the one that said, your body, my choice. That was him, right? As if you could have a choice.
Yes. Said he doesn't want to live around black people. Says black people are animals. Like he's what I would call a card carrying racist. That's how I would define it. And he hasn't left me much room to disagree from every time I've ever seen him to open his mouth.
Well, let's take you on his greatest hits, just because it's Fools Friday, but also in the broken clock of things. Yeah, as it relates to Jason, I agree with him. So
every once in a while, he get one off. Every once in a while, they get one off, right?
Okay, all right. Let's play the first one. I don't want to live around black people.
Here's Nick Fuentes reacting to Austin Metcalf's murder.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. And that's not to say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same way. But we watch the news. We read the papers. When you drive downtown in Chicago, you know who you got to look out for and worry about when you're thinking about whether you're going to get carjacked, when you're worried about catching a stray bullet, when you're worried about who's going to pull up on the side of the road and literally shove a rifle in your face and steal your iPhone or shoot you point blank, execution style, in Lincoln Park. We know who's doing it.
Pause for a second, Smith. Pause.
I don't want to live.
Well, not pause. When does this happen? You would think we would be inundated with white people being, held at gunpoint for their iPhones and being shot in Chicago, being carjacked. You would think this would be, and they've tried to paint Chicago as the most dangerous city in the United States of America, when it's really Anchorage, Alaska is Chicago's not even in the top 10. Okay. Right. Anchorage, Alaska is more violent and dangerous than Chicago, per capita, Illinois. Yeah. Yes. So if we're having this conversation, number one, and this is something, leaning into what Francis Cress Welsing was saying, we have to be zero tolerant of people talking greasy about us. So Jason Whitlock got offended because he's black. Right. He got offended by it. So he played the clip and then went off on how ridiculous it was because that's a bridge too far for him. Now, he could sit there and talk about Dawn Staley and every black person and mostly black women because, he too is an incel. And that's involuntarily celibate, meaning nobody wants to do you. You are not attractive and you're not working on yourself to make yourself attractive. You're disgusting. Both of you. Yeah. Both of you.
And this is from a man who said, Jason Whitlock said, Black Lives Matter is no different than the KKK.
Okay. That's this was what this man is saying, what this boy is saying, because he doesn't have any kind of maturity. Nick Fuentes was too offensive for Jason Whitlock. But I just paused you, Smith, because of the propaganda. Because here's the other reality. 75% of white people already self-segregate. You don't live around black people already. You already ran every time black people moved in. You don't even know what it's like to live around black people. It's wonderful. The smells of great seasoning and all of the good music in the air. I used to lived in a condo where I would sit on the roof, Rod, and I had behind me folk from Latin American country. They would be playing their salsa at night and doing karaoke. Across the street with this brother, he played house music. To the left of me was somebody that was into 2000, my kind of R&B and hip hop. I would just sit on the roof and just be enraptured with the amazing music going through the airwaves. On Sunday, the gospel was across the street. It was lovely. Right. You don't even know. That's why your seasoned chicken is not seasoned. It's raw. It's raw and bald-headed. You don't live around us. So you don't know us. Somebody put a plate out on social media and said, "Oh, I'm eating like black people." And I knew that they didn't know black people because the corn muffin was in paper.
Oh, see?
Who does that? I said, where? And they had cookies on the plate. We ain't never put no cookies on the plate.
Next to the food.
Next to the food, there was a clump of something white that could have been mashed potatoes. It looked like cauliflower, but it was a clump of something, maybe unbuttered seasoned grits or something. It was something white. I was like, that is the least black plate. I'm eating and I think he said something derogatory, like I'm eating like these N-words or something. And I was like, wow, I know you don't know black people because that's not a black people don't eat like that. So you think you presented something, but the fact that you can't even mimic or duplicate the richness of our culture on a plate. But this man has something to say about living around you. And if you had a wife and children, which is going to be doubtful, and the only reason why a woman would get with you at this point is because of your wallet. Yeah. She don't like you. That's like the girl that's with, who's the coach, used to be the coach of the Patriots. He got him,
Belichick.
Belichick out here. You think that lady would be with him for his personality and man, if y'all don't get out my face with this nonsense. So, sir, you would not have someone willingly want to be with you. So you with this fantasy.
I would add one more thing too, which is that everything he said is true in reverse. Meaning black people have been historically in danger living amongst the white folks in this country. That is real. Like, that's not a conspiracy. That, like, we're talking, even when we've tried to live amongst ourselves, if it get too good, it's Tulsa, it's Wilmington. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, yes. Like, we are the ones that have history on our side of like what it is like.
All over. I had a British professor on Wednesday, was he Wednesday or yesterday? Yesterday, David Olashoga, yesterday. He said his family, his mama's white, his father's Nigerian, moved into a neighborhood, poor neighborhood. They threw a brick through their window with, derogatory slurs. They had to have a police officer stationed at their house because of the attacks on this one family. It's minding their business, not doing anything negative at all. This is, you watched Them, that one season where the black family moved in the South Central LA. But that was the norm. That was the norm. The one black
terrorism
family
has gone the other way. It's like, you know, that church bombing, like the terrorism has gone the other way. It's not gone to black people are not terrorizing white people. It's only in the white imagination that we become these monsters who want to prey on whiteness, you know, as a pastime. It's like we don't have full lives of our own that we're trying to navigate. Like the police don't have a black site in Chicago where they're disappearing.
You know why what you're saying is absolutely true? Gentrification could never happen if what he is saying is true.
Exactly.
Because when white people move in, they are actually the safest.
Yes.
Black neighborhood. Yeah. They come, they run, they jog through our neighborhood. They got their little baby carriages. I'm like, what? Yeah. Nobody bothers them. They know that though. This is the other thing. You know what you're saying is a damn lie.
Yeah.
There will be no gentrification.
They're the ones that move out when we come in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, a black family moved into this neighborhood. We all must flee. That white flight thing is real. Like, and it is once again in America, white feelings become facts. So because the white people have a general fear and unease around blackness, it becomes factual that blackness is preying on the whites. They're going to get your daughter. They're going to, oh, your wife, you better be careful out here, white man. Oh, they're going to carjack you and take your phone. You know how they love to do that? Just be minding their business. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm a full robber. That's the idea that they have to have in order to, you know, support their racist feelings towards black people, right? Because if all of that were true, then how can I ever blame you for being, you know, not wanting to be around black people? I mean, it's so dangerous. It's basically just a war zone and you just happen to be driving through. But none of that shit is true. You just happen to be racist.
Correct. All right, let's finish the racist. I apologize because I'm going somewhere. Finish the racist rant from Nick Fuentes.
Live near them. I don't want to be near them. They make me nervous. Unfortunately, we just don't know. When you're on the subway, when you're driving in your car, when you're in the city streets, you don't know whether the black person in proximity to you is one of the good ones or one of the ones who is going to summon an unbelievable, I mean, literally, for people like us, an unthinkable level of spontaneous brutality, senseless and merciless violence in an instant. We don't know. There's ambiguity. You're sitting on a subway. You look across. You see someone acting strange or aggressive. Is this someone who is going to pull out a knife and in 2 seconds slit my throat and kill me? Or is this just someone who's having a bad day? We don't know. I'm not willing to risk my life to find out. It's not worth it to me. I'm not willing to put myself in a position to find out.
He's referring to something that I haven't talked about on these airways, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna let it play out, see what happens. I'm not feeding it. But even the Daniel Penny, which I thought was ridiculous, you got up out of your seat. You weren't being physically assaulted. You got out of your seat and took it upon yourself. You deputized yourself to police that black body and choke that man to death on a train, and you got acquitted. Right. You got acquitted. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines to come into a protest. It was not in his front yard. It was not in his home. Nobody was bothering him. He and his family crossed state lines to police. They got deputized in a climate that allows for people like this, and it's only going to get worse, to come in with assault rifles and shoot people and kill people and got acquitted.
Yep.
George Zimmerman took it upon himself to police Trayvon Martin's body with his Skittles and his drink, going to the home where he and his daddy were staying. That man took it upon himself to follow him. And when he was getting his ass beat because he didn't know who he wasn't police. You're following me. I don't feel safe. You got your ass beat by a teenager. You pulled out a gun and you shot him and killed him and took his life and got acquitted in this just us system, right? So Nick Fuentes, if anybody should be afraid, if anybody should be not wanting to live around anybody, it should be us not wanting to live around you. And maybe you're about to find out what that looks like when there are no black people in anywhere. Well, you already do. 75% of you, and you're not happy. You're still not happy. Still not happy.
What else do you want? I thought y'all was winning. Y'all got y'all country back. I thought y'all had y'all president. Like, why are y'all so mad? Y'all still mad at us? One black
still
person
talking about
did
us.
something.
Still talking about us.
One black person did something, but now it's all the blacks, you know, even to the point where Jason Whitlock couldn't keep the act up. Like that's you know, it's bad when he had to call foul to be like, hey, turn the racism down a little bit. It's getting a little too much for me. And you know, I love some racism. Let me be the first to say it, you know.
866-801 talking. By the way, I call him an incel. He identifies as an involuntary celibate. He recognizes that nobody wants to have sex with him.
Right.
He's the one. and instead of fixing himself, he's raging. He's raging. Let me play the Jason Whitlock piece. And the only reason why I'm mentioning him, he has millions of followers.
Yeah. Nah, he's a big deal.
Millions of followers. This is on Jason Whitlock, right? No, but so then Jason Whitlock went off.
Mm-hmm.
And so which comes first, Smith? So Jason goes off and then he responds. Okay, so Jason said, you know, he's wrong. Played the clip that you just heard, and then he said what he said, and then here's where I might agree with Nick Fuentes. Play it.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good fucking thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaffer. You would have been fired like every other white person. Everybody knows that. Take a good look at everything around you, because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. They feel sorry. They need a black person to give them credibility. Wow.
Points were made. Points were made. I mean, I don't know why.
We all know that though, right? You know, it's right. Like, you know, if you think about all of these, you know, even Diamond and Silk, like that they had a bigger platform than people talking good sense only because like couldn't string together two sentences. I don't know if they've ever read a book between them. I know one of them's not here anymore, so I don't want to talk ill of the person that's not here. But I'm like, what? They get invited I'm saying, like, what is happening?
They were at the White House.
At the White House.
Yeah.
Yo, Jason Whitlock failed sports commentator.
Yes.
Mad about that, right? You couldn't do that. So you jump over into this space where white people need a shield for being racist. And here come your massa ass out here saying all the things they want to say. And then they say, see, the black person agrees with us. That's your whole role. You get paid millions of dollars to be the see, black people agree with us person.
Yeah. Easiest money in the game. Any of us could do it. Like, you don't got to be talented. You don't have to be special. And that's why Nick Fuentes was right when he was like, no, this is the real tokenism. You don't have to be excellent. You don't have to toe the line. All you got to do is be black. Just be over here saying you agree with us and be black. We don't look at your principles, your morals, your consistency. We're not trying to see if you really live in your raps. We just need a clip, a 2-minute clip every couple of days of your black ass saying something bad about some people we can't say something bad about. So we could be like, well, Jason Whitlock said it, and he's happy to do it. Happy to do it. If you think that their racism extends only to the black people who disagree with them, then that just makes you more of the fool. Jason Whitlock did quote tweet him and say something about Jesus or some religious stuff, which is his new hustle. But his new hustle is Jesus. His
new hustle is being a Christian.
Yeah, his new hustle is Jesus. Yeah, he tried to hit him with some like pray for the brother type. Yeah.
Okay.
If y'all believe that,
you know what? Not just the those people use it. I think everybody that's their go-to when things.
Jesus.
We saw Russell Brand. Russell Brand became a
he on the Jesus.
And
now?
we talk about he was on the G. You ain't see his whole Jesus and he got baptized in his drawers.
Oh, I did see the baptism.
Because the charges were coming.
Yeah,
the charges were coming. He said, I better at least now I have this. Forgive me.
Yeah. They do. I guess now every time I see somebody get religious, I'm gonna be like, so when the charges dropping? Now that's messed up, but that's how I'm gonna be.
Brother
now.
Love. Come on now.
That yoga stuff that Russ was doing.
Yeah, come on. Buddhism.
It's starting to add up. If
y'all don't stop using these,
I'm gonna let everybody know right now. I don't go to church.
You don't find that suspicious?
I'm just letting y'all know. Your boy is clean. Ain't nothing dropping on your boy. I don't mess with nobody. I don't do nothing, and I don't go to church.
You do post a lot of pictures with Jason Whitlock's face. You do that though.
I post a lot of pictures picking on him. That's it.
Oh my God! You said I do not go to church. So there we go.
I'm not gonna be there this Easter. Just letting y'all know. So don't worry about me. I'm not putting my hands on nobody.
I just wanted to bring out the point that this is Nick Fuentes is telling people how they really think about us all the way around. And I'm here for it. I'm here for that incel telling us the truth, because what else does he have? He doesn't like black people. He don't want to live around black people. He doesn't trust black people. Last name Fuentes, very interesting choice, but you go ahead, go off, brother. Go off, young man. Do what you need to do. And
it's not even a wake-up call for Jason Whitlock. You think it would be a wake-up call. Like, maybe I need to stop hanging around with these kind of people. But no, that's where his bread is buttered. So he's going to be over there.
I was going to ask, how else would he make money? And this is the thing, I've been fortunate to have many, I've been fortunate to have many places that wouldn't hire me. Right. So it forced me to develop, and this goes for everything, right? It forced me to develop other skills or enhance other skills. I can pivot at any point in time, but I have a whole laundry list of things that can be done for commerce. And a lot of it has nothing to do with other people. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're right. You can write for days for anybody and sell scripts or what have you. And some of the scripts don't ever have to be made, and you're going to get a check. I'm still getting checks from books I wrote 20 years ago. Every quarter. I'm like, this was nice. Thank you, But you do a thing, and then you put it out in the universe, and you don't know when it's going to come back. But for somebody like Jason Whitlock, your talent is what? I don't know that you have a gift. You weren't gifted in the thing that you wanted to do, which was sports commentary. Then the world changed because athletes don't need you to talk anymore. They got their own. They talk to themselves. They don't even like you. And they had to talk to you before because there was no other way to get to the people. You had to. You do the press conferences. Now they go on everybody's podcast. They got so many podcasts now with athletes. And before that, it was, what was that boy that used to go on to talk about Stephen A. on Kwame Brown? Kwame Brown. He was able to make money talking for himself and build an audience, and then it got weird. But but now I think this is your bag.
Also, the competition is much harder in that lane where everybody is earnestly trying to make a buck. And if you don't have the personality or at least the thoughtfulness to make your content unique, then it's easier to go swim in this pond where black people would never swim, right? Like, none of us are over there. And now you over there just saying, you don't got to do no research. You don't got to know a stat. I haven't heard Jason Whitlock say a actual sports take in 10 years. Like, where it's just like, LeBron's only shooting 40% this week. Like, I've not heard those type of words. It's just black pathology, this, black people that. And so it's like, those people over there that use you, that employ you, they see it too. They don't respect what you do either. They see you as a person that couldn't swim in the other pond and came over here for a handout. So it's just so funny to hear how they talk about us, the rest of us, all the black people way over here. And then you are a card carrying, give me a handout person. That's what you are. Like you are over there.
You're the DEI that they think the rest of us are.
You're the person. You're the token that you claim. Someone who is excellent, like Barack Obama, you'll be like, he's a token. No, you're the token. Barack Obama's better than everybody else in that room when it comes to what he earning his place. You're not. You're not as good as the white people who are employing you, and that says something.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.